Welcome back to another episode of Play by Play presented by Win or Lose Sports. Today's guest is Chris Pope, who has been uh, one of my arch enemies on basketball court since. No, I was playing. no, but for real, I remember when we used to go to the park on Hill,
Yeah.
the Hump.
Yep.
And I was like, I remember the first time I actually saw you play when you got older, because we kids is different. I saw you got play. You was like 17. I was like, man, this little dude is strong. Like, what the, what the heck? Where did this come from? I was like, why is he guarding me so strong? Like, this dude is strong. I was like, man, I don't remember you being that aggressive as a kid, but we all grew up. So, talk about how you started loving the game of basketball and then getting into coaching.
Man, so that's crazy. I was literally just thinking about that because literally, I think from 15 to like 21 is like really when I really start getting into basketball more serious. Music as well. Of course, I'm a musician, but that came kind of more naturally than hooping. But like once I start hooping with y'all all the time, I'm younger, so all my friends are 40 plus. So literally,
Right.
a teenager that's hanging out with all grown men. So I'm doing everything y'all doing, hanging out with all y'all, and literally, like that's when I really start to fall in love with the game. Just because I was with y'all all the time with Ronell and you and Bo and James and your brother Wani and
Yeah.
AD. Like all my friends are older, so Mario. So it's like all my friends are into music or sports, and they all y'all
Right.
with me. So literally, if I was gonna play, I had to adapt to how y'all played and become more aggressive and more physical, and use my strength, my quickness, and my young legs to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? So that's literally what it was. But honestly, like my family comes from an athletic background. My dad and my uncle both played varsity at Rogers and Bowser. My dad went on to
Yep.
play football for the Toledo Bombstormers when they was a program. My uncle Jack played in the Arena League football. I got
Okay.
uncles and cousins who play at Scott who are legends. So basketball has kind of always been a thing. My mom was a coach, but my mom also played at San Diego State, JUCO when she graduated high school.
Okay.
Graduated from Macomber. She went to go live with my uncle in San Diego, and she played JUCO at San Diego State at the junior
Wow.
out there. So basketball has kind of always been a thing my family's been into. But for me, like I played high school ball a little bit. I didn't play my senior year at Whitmer due to grades, but Coach Smith let me hang out with the team still, so I played under Bruce Smith. Um, and I was one of those kids that couldn't keep my grades right to where I could really be academically eligible like I should have been. But he let me hang out with the
Right.
team. All my friends played football and basketball, so I was there with like Kevin Koger and Nigel Hayes, all those guys. Nigel was probably like a freshman or sophomore.
Oh, okay.
So I hung out with all those guys, and they all played and went on to play college ball. How I got into coaching is crazy because I actually wasn't trying to get into coaching. I coached like community rec leagues through like the Believe Center, Boys and Girls Club, stuff like that. But that was kind of just like a hobby type of thing. Tim Petaway, who's the assistant varsity coach at Start now, he actually was the head coach at Whitmer. And he's one of the really
Yeah. He was there. He was there when my daughter was playing at Whitmer.
yeah. So he actually brought me on as the junior high B team coaches. So I was literally putting fundamentals at the junior high level to girls who were interested. Matter of fact, me and you had a conversation because I had talked to you about coming out there and helping.
Yeah.
I actually got started. Tim turned me on, and then he had some personal stuff going to where he couldn't be the head coach anymore, so he resigned, took another position over at Start, just being a varsity assistant. And that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. Coaching was through him. He looked out, him and Bud. Bud Davis was his varsity assistant, so they kind of turned me on. They let me keep my foot in the door. So what happened when Whitmer brought on Coach Kennard, Leon Kennard, who's a phenomenal basketball mind, when he took over the program, I was actually just doing the junior high still. But a lot of those girls I've been knowing since they were 7th and 8th graders, and he's seen the relationship I was building with them and the work I was putting in with them over the summer. And we had a fantastic summer when these girls were incoming for big, huge 2026 class were coming in as freshmen. And we had a great summer. And so he kind of asked me, like, you think you want to move up? He's like, you cool with the junior high? You think you want to try JV freshman? So he kind of honestly just gave me an opportunity. So you opened the door for me to be
Wow.
the JV head coach and help with the varsity program and the freshman program. I was still helping with the junior high. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. So I was there for 3 years at the high school level, and then a year and a half at the junior high level.
That's a crazy. I mean, that's a quick turnaround as far as like getting into coaching and becoming head coach of a varsity high school team.
Bro, literally, in the crazy
And
is, and I kind of honestly was down myself. Like, I don't think I'm ready for it. I think I need some more time, more experience.
mm-hmm,
But everybody I talked to, when I talked to him about it, was like, dude, you've been doing the work. He's like, being a freshman at JV,
that's what I was about to say.
doing all the back
Putting in the work.
we were doing, all the skill work, all the training, all the administrative stuff you was doing to help build a program. You've already been doing the roles of a head coach, and so he was like, I actually go for it. So I talked to several people. I talked to a couple friends and family that coach around the city, and it was like, dude, just apply, see what happens. And I honestly wasn't at first because the thing I kept hearing for the other jobs I had interviewed for was you have a great resume, but you don't have any varsity experience yet.
Mm.
And so that's literally what I kept hearing everywhere I applied. And it was like, we love you. They love you. I see what you do. We see you far on the AAU circuit. All the girls you're working with, all the development you're doing. We see the work you're doing, but you just don't have the experience that we're looking for as a varsity coach yet. Uh,
Wow.
and Clay was the first school to take a chance on me. Joe Kiss, he's a younger AD, but he gave me an opportunity to come on and get my feet wet and threw me right into the fire.
Wow. So how excited are you as far as like getting ready for this season as a head varsity coach of a girls basketball team? And like what are your goals and expectations for you as a coach and for your team?
Dude, listen, I'm super excited. I went to the football game last night. The program is excited. The culture is changing already. I got 20 plus girls messaging me, asking me about workouts, open gyms, trying to get in the gym. I got girls that play
Wow.
multiple sports that are like super excited because of the culture shift that I'm bringing with me. And I got phenomenal coaches that'll be coming on board with me at every level from middle school through varsity. And I'm bringing girls and guy coaches that got experience, tons of knowledge, former player of the year, city league scoring champions. Like, I got a good group that's coming on board with me to come change the culture over there and impact these young ladies' lives.
Can you name any names? Can you put any
Oh,
names out there
everybody,
as far as coaches?
my right hand man, Brad Burton. I don't go nowhere without him. We do everything together. 2008 Libby grad, played JUCO, played a little bit
Okay.
overseas. That's my dog. Like, we do everything together from AAU, high school. Um, he's been with me since I did my first 2 years by myself. By myself, excuse me, and he's been with me ever since. And he was actually on board as a volunteer, just coming around helping me do skill work and development, and fell in love with coaching girls basketball. Like, he wasn't trying to coach girls; he always coached boys. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so he started doing skill work and development with me, and kind of fell in love with the game. And he's been with me ever since.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing to see like the development, not just of players but of coaches. Like when you go into a program, like I've watched, you know Lionel Armstead, who's the
Fuck.
boys or men's basketball coach at Clay. He started off as a development coach at Emmanuel. That's both my kids trained with Lionel at Emmanuel, and my son played on the boys basketball team at Emmanuel. The year after my son left Emmanuel, that's when Lionel became head coach. I was like, man, and my son went over to Whitmer, and he didn't play at Whitmer because he felt like the team was already set and he didn't want to step, whatever.
I know how that goes.
But Lionel became head coach at Emmanuel, and I was like, man, I wish my son could have played under him because I see the development of Lionel's coaching, the development of how he coached his players. And it's amazing to see you go from where you're going from junior high and then over at Whitmer, and now at Clay. It's like the development, not just as a coach, but as a man, to say, man, I'm proud of Chris. Like to see him go through this journey, and now he's the head coach of a high school girls basketball team, varsity. Like that's amazing to me because to me, I'm like, I can't. I know the game of basketball, but my frustration will get me in trouble as a head coach. And I think it's because of my elementary coach. If anybody knows Coach Talley, who was probably one of the greatest coaches in elementary or middle school history, like he was my elementary coach, and that's who I patterned my personality after when it comes to coaching on the basketball court.
Yeah, and crazy you say that is because like for me, I'm a hard nosed coach, right? But because I'm a girl dad, I think I relate a little bit more. I got all daughters, so for me, it's for
Oh,
me to
okay.
relate to girl basketball. Then I think I would be able to with boys basketball. Because for me, for them, I'm gonna do them the same way I was done. We gonna go run these hills. We gonna go do all this, physical stuff. Because I got to build
Right.
as a man. Got to do the same thing with females, but it's a different approach. And I think for like me and Brad, because we both only have daughters, so he got 3 girls, I got 3 girls. So I think for us, it's more natural to coach girls just because we understand how
Mm,
to relate to them and how to get through to them and build those genuine relationships on and off the court to where girls, I go
right.
to other sporting events, I go to whatever they got going on, birthday parties, whatever. Like I coach and train and been working with a lot of girls around the city over the last few years. And from all different schools, from inner city schools to Anthony Wayne and Northwood and Northview and Central and Whitmer. So
Wow.
Notre Dame, I got a connection with a lot of different girls. And a lot of that is due to also I got to plug Sandy Brown in the Toledo Threat program. Um,
Yes. Shout out to
was
Sandy.
literally my first AAU job was under Sandy. And then this year I coach Midwest Power, which was started by Gary Wolf and Romy Brown. So having people like that and Darius Taylor as well, people that run great organizations for AAU, has allowed me to make connections with a lot of different coaches and players around this city. So I'm excited, bro. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's about relationships and building relationships, not just with other coaches, but with the student athletes, because the trust has to be there
Absolutely.
for them to go out and fight everything they have to fight with on the floor. They have to trust the coach to put them in the right position to go out there and play the game to win.
And so, like for me, me and Brad motto is literally we've been telling these girls since day one is we're gonna coach you hard, we're gonna do a lot of hard work, but we're gonna have fun and we're gonna build a culture where you can trust us to where we're not gonna put you in danger and we're not gonna do anything to jeopardize your career, whether if you play another sport. Because a lot of these girls are multi-sport athletes, and so if your
Hmm.
passion and focus is volleyball, I'm not gonna do nothing to jeopardize your volleyball career if you see yourself going D1, D2 at that level. But I do want you to participate in basketball and enjoy yourself and have fun. And so that's the message I'm just preaching to all these kids is I don't care what other sports, what other activities you do. Give me 100%, and I'm gonna give you 100%. We're gonna have fun doing it.
Right, and that's what it's all about. I mean, I know the culture is about winning championships and winning games, but in high school, these are students. These are still kids. You want them to enjoy themselves. I mean, I had an issue with my daughter at one of the other schools she played with. Well, Emmanuel. The coach wasn't putting fun out there. It was everything was so serious, and this was at junior high level. She was like in the sixth, seventh grade. It was like they have to have fun, and winning is good, is cool, but these are junior high girls who are learning the game.
Yep.
They have to have fun. Like when it comes to girls who come in who really don't know the game of basketball but want to be a part of the team, how do you approach that?
This you said it. The key thing is fun and fundamentals. Like if I can get you to be fundamentally sound, because I don't know if you watch a lot of girls basketball, but if you watch girls basketball at
Yeah.
any level, they're fundamentally sound at every level. Their foot
Yes.
phenomenal. They understand how to play defense the right way. They understand how to finish at the rim the right way. They play off of 2 feet. All those different type of things. And you
Yes.
got to teach fundamentals when it comes to girls, but you also got to make sure they're having fun. Um, I mean, for example, Brad took a team full of freshmen last year as the freshman coach with maybe 4 girls that actually hoop. The rest were like first timers or girls trying it. And he
Mm.
finished second in the NOL as a freshman
Wow.
in
Wow.
Perrysburg. You know what I'm saying? And it's literally,
Yeah.
he was just teaching fundamentals and making sure his girl has to have fun. And that's literally what it boils down to. Are your kids having fun in your program, or do they feel like you're being a dictator and you're just yelling and fussing and rioting them? and they don't enjoy what they do. They dread coming to practice. Like that's the worst culture to build is where kids don't want to play. And so that's
Right.
why a lot of girls are turning away from sports because coaches again are so worried about wins and losses that the fun element is no longer a part of sports. So kids are literally just saying I'd rather just not play sports at all. And that's at every level. The numbers for athletes at every sport are starting to dwindle because of those things, because the pressure of coaches to have to win immediately and all these different type of things. I get it. But at the same time, fun got to be a part of the process.
Absolutely. And I was just talking to Mike Chalk yesterday about just NIL and college basketball and high school basketball mostly, but and I was telling him like when I watch college basketball, I'm watching women's college basketball because the brand of basketball is a lot more better than boys basketball, men's basketball, college
And
basketball,
then
because the
I,
fundamentals are there. Like you said, the fundamentals are there. And it's like you see great passing, you see great footwork, you see great boxing out, you see great rebounding, you see great play work on the floor, period. Like you don't see that in all men's
and
basketball.
the crazy,
That's
I can't name
go ahead.
I can name 10 college men's players, but I guarantee right now, if I call my 8-year-old in the room,
Mm,
she could name at least 10 girls that play college basketball.
wow.
Watches
Wow.
basketball, period. But like you said, the brand
Right.
is so much better, and they're really changing the culture. And I think what people don't realize, I know you hating, but that's what Kobe was fighting for, was to change the brand of basketball for women's sports.
You know what? I hated Kobe up until up until his retirement, and I got a love for Kobe as a man, not as a basketball player. As a man, I got a love for Kobe because he had daughters. You know, I have a daughter who played basketball and runs track, and he has daughter who's. I was like, okay, I like him as a man, but as a basketball player, yes, I hated Kobe. But that's neither here nor there.
But I mean, but he was fighting for, and you see all the women that he's helped develop that came through his Mamba
Yeah,
Sports Academy and how where they are now, and they literally are changing the culture of girls basketball. And
yeah.
again, I see even the numbers of girls of the WNBA games, like the revenue shares that they should probably get soon, are going to be crazy compared to what they've been getting, just because of the notoriety and the way they're packing out arenas and all these different things that they're doing now.
hmm And a lot of people are going to say that's because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the new rookies coming into the league. But this was something that was happening over the years, and they just kind of hit a mark and sparked something that ignited more people to watch. Which
Absolutely.
more people will start tuning in to watch because of how Kobe pushed the women's basketball and the WNBA, and Sabrina Ionescu came from under that umbrella and became a star in the NBA and the WNBA. And Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark just kind of capitalized on that in college and brought it to the NBA. Now you got eyes everywhere. Last night, the Sky and the Fever,
Game was
that game was crazy, right?
yeah,
Insane. Caitlin Clark went crazy last night,
yeah,
broke records.
yep,
And what's Angel Reese got her like 23rd double double or something like that. That's what basketball is all about. It's about bringing people who really don't watch the sport and tuning in to watch these games like this. And I was telling Mike Chalk yesterday, this is what Magic and Bird did with the NBA back in 1980 and in the 1980s. This is what Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are doing now to the WNBA and in their 26th year. They're still babies.
yep. And the crazy thing is, it's only gonna get better because you got old girl from UConn that's coming. You got Juju that's coming from USC. Like you got
Juju, yeah.
way more talent that's on the way that is literally going to continue to change the brand of the WNBA to where you're going to have more recognizable faces and athletes at the basketball side for young girls to look up to. So I'm excited. Like I said, the culture is changing everywhere. I'm just excited to see basketball on the girls' side continue to grow and become what it is today.
Right. I'm excited too. Like I said, I've been into women's basketball, especially since my daughter played. Now she's focusing on track at UT, so that's why I'm always repping somebody's school. um, But let's kind of shift gears, and I want to talk about the Olympics because this is a coaching topic. When you talk about how Steve Kerr, head coach of the Olympic team, you got people like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, um, Joel Embiid, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, all these superstars on the team, Jason Tatum, Derek White, and there are a few games that Jason Tatum did not play. He had a DNP,
And
and people are saying because well,
I,
Jason Tatum, why is Derek White playing on the floor and Jason Tatum is on the bench? Why is that? Can you kind of explain, or do you have any thought on that?
yeah, absolutely. I know that hurt you as a Celtic fan, but uh,
Oh yeah, it hurt me. It hurt me.
but it's all about matchups, right? And so you got to understand. His job is to figure out matchups, figure out what works well. What's when he's scouting, he has to figure out okay, who's going to be able to defend who can bring what to the table. And the crazy thing is, Jason Tatum minutes was taken by Kevin Durant. So how do you tell
Mm-hmm.
Steve Kerr, who has a relationship already with Kevin Durant, who went out there and put on the clinic the first game of the tournament, missed one shot, that he got to cut his minutes to give him to Jason Tatum? I get it. He just came off a championship, just came off a finals
Right.
records and all these different things he did in the finals, but it's still Kevin Durant. And again, the flow of the game, you have to be able to shoot the ball. Jason Tatum is not a 50, 40, 90 guy like KD. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know personnel. You got to know your personnel and know what works well. So Derek White, again, a reason why he's playing heavy minutes, him and Drew Holiday, they're defenders. So if I need
Yep.
down
Heavy defenders.
tough defenders that are physical, but I can still get a bucket if I need them to, that can knock down the open three.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really all about matchups, all about what schemes that work well. But then too on the backside, we don't know, was Jason Tatum on a minute restriction because he was just coming off the long playoffs and coming off and winning the championship. Like you know what I'm saying? All when it comes to business programs and stuff like that, they got conversations that they have. So there's no telling what type of conversations the Celtics front office had with Steve Kerr coming into the Olympics when it
True.
involved Jason Tatum. We don't know that. But at the same time, like I said, it's all about what works well. And we knew Steph, KD, and LeBron was going to play well together. You know what I'm saying? So you knew, and we knew this was their last Olympics. So do I sit three
Yep.
of the faces of the NBA from the last
Mm.
10 plus years for these younger guys when I know this is their last run?
Right. So it was respect for the veterans who've been there, and this could be their last hurrah. And I got to focus on what's going to win us games. Like Jason Tatum only shot 38% the whole Olympics. 38%. So of course, yeah, I'm not going to put him in, even though he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? But Drew Holiday, uh, great defender, can put buckets in and pass the ball. Derek White is a utility. Now, when I think about Derek White, I think of Chris Pope playing basketball.
Yeah,
I hate it.
great.
I hated
Because
playing
I'm gonna do all.
against Chris Pope because he was so hard nosed on defense, and he could put buckets. He could put in. He can score anywhere on the floor. And he's like, wait, why is this guy scoring like this? It's because he just knows basketball, knows where to be on the floor at any time. Me, I'm a spot up shooter, and I'm a drive to the hole. Mid range, maybe turn around jump shot. But you have to know personnel, know what they can do on the floor. And if I'm having a bad day, don't put me in. Keep Durant in the game because he's scoring. I'm not shooting well,
And
so I understand it.
that,
It hurt me not to see the superstar of the Celtics out there winning the gold, even though he did win. But I understood that this is coaching. This is what coaching is all about.
but see, I think that's where the average fan and parents have issues with coaching staffs, right? Because they don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't understand. Okay, my baby, I know my baby can play, right? Because every parent believe I know my baby is a star. I know my baby can score. I know my baby can do this. But what you don't understand is, as a coach, my job is to find a role that your child can thrive in. So for me, like you said, I was never an elite scorer to where I can just go out there and create my own shots. But I know I can score off of creating turnovers. I can play passing lanes. I know I can find open to
Yep.
make the right pass. I know how to read. My IQ is where I can read passing lanes, read defenders. I know how to send you to your weekend, all those little things, right? So to keep me playing,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, I'm a utility guy. The same reason why Derek White,
Keep you on the floor.
exactly, because it's hustle, it's effort, it's grit. That's the stuff you can't.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what parents don't realize. Yeah, your son might be a better scorer, better shooter than such and such that's getting all these playing times, but your son don't rebound. Your son don't get back on defense. Your daughter
Mm-hmm.
don't play passing lanes. Your daughter is lazy in practice, and parents just don't understand that. And those are the uncomfortable conversations. Unfortunately, as coaches, we have to have with parents and players. I had a situation last year where I had a girl, her dad thought she should have been playing more minutes, and I had to explain to him why she wasn't. Once she started doing the little things that I needed her to do to get more minutes, she started getting more playing time. She had a game where she hit 7 3-pointers against Bowser in a JV game.
Mm.
But she had to start doing the little things that I needed for her to increase those minutes. And I think that's the problem with the parents today is my mom ain't never called. I ain't never heard my mom get into it with a coach, argue with a coach about my lack of playing time or getting too much playing time or me being benched. My mom always said to me, "Was to clearly something you're not doing in practice." You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Figure out what you're not doing in.
Yep.
Figure out what they want you to do, what they expect from you to where you can get more playing time. Earn your minutes. But again, I come from a sports household, so I already knew my mom. Her expectations was you gonna earn your spot. I don't want nothing given to you. Ain't no handouts over here. And
Yeah. I think it.
even now, I teach my daughter.
No, go ahead.
So my daughter, this is her first year cheering. She cheers for the Jets, which is a phenomenal program. She had to earn her spot. My daughter took it upon herself as an 8-year-old to find a coach that will work with her privately on the side to learn the things she needed to learn to make sure she got a spot,
Wow.
but make sure she was learning the proper techniques and things that they wanted to see. And so it's your style of parenting. For me, nothing is given over here. We got to earn everything. So whatever it takes, sacrifice is a part of being a process. If you want to play sports, if you want to be successful in music, business, whatever it is, it's going to take sacrifice.
Yeah. And got growing up in a household when your father is one of the greatest street ball players to ever come across the city of Toledo, and everybody knows him as the best shooter to ever
The doc,
touch a basketball. That's tough
of course.
for me to try to follow up, and for him to expect that out of me, to say you're not doing this right, you're not doing this right. That was tough growing up. It's like what am I doing right? Tell me what I'm doing right. But he would always say, "This is what you're doing wrong." But it's up to me to say, "Okay, I finally realized, okay, this is what I'm not doing right. This is what I have to work on. This is what he's been telling me all this time." And I don't think people understand, like, growing up in that type, and when that comes to music too.
Yeah,
Like, he's a musician, and I'm trying to be a musician too. I'm trying to be a basketball player. He's a basketball player. So all around musician, when talking about music, talking about sports, he will always say, "This is what needs to happen for you to be successful as a player on the court and on the keys. This is what you need to do." And sometimes, as a kid, you have to listen. Just stop. Don't think about it. Just listen. And that's tough for a kid to try to follow behind.
yeah, absolutely. And again, I'll never forget when I was really trying to get into basketball and when I was a sophomore or junior, I had a conversation with Ronell, which congrats to him. He the new freshman coach over at Rogers. Um,
Yep. Congrats.
announced that, but yeah, my boy, the new freshman coach at Rogers. But he was saying like, you have tons of skill and athletic ability, but you're undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to take criticism without wearing your feelings on your sleeves. You don't know how to take me telling you that's a bad pass, or know how to take me yelling at you in a constructive way to help you get better. And it was the same thing, like you said, as a musician, having all my friends being top musicians that travel the country, they don't understand the pressure I was under even as a musician. Like all my friends, my stepbrother, and everybody is traveling the world playing music for all your favorite artists, producing records for your favorite artists. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They don't
Right.
understand our circle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you can't handle the criticism that's coming from people that's done what you already trying to do, you're never gonna be successful. And so again, why I tell
Yeah.
everybody, Bo, Orlando Williams, and Ronell is the reason why I'm successful as a coach. The reason why I understand the game the way I do, because they were hard on me, made sure I understood the fundamentals first, but made sure I also locked in and understand the importance of details. Uh,
Mm.
And again, like, and Mike Taylor will, Coach Mike Taylor, like one of my favorite people. His son played at St. John's. Literally, those are the guys that really made sure I understood the importance of paying attention to detail, understanding everybody roles, not just scoring, understanding the importance of defense, understanding the importance of personnel, how to make substitutions, and all those different things. And I'm as a young coach, I'm still learning all that stuff. But all those things play a part in you coaching, you playing. Like the best players that I know all have high IQs. They don't just score,
Yeah.
they do some of everything well. Can they score? Absolutely. But their ability to see stuff that the average player don't see, who don't study the game, who don't watch film, who
Hmm.
don't pay attention to what's going on around them, they just got a leg up on them.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with this was last year when we did the Toledo Pro Am. I was telling them like the guys on my team is like anybody can be a scorer, but what you want to do is find the role that you fit on the team. Like anybody can score, anybody can shoot threes, anybody can rebound, but find the role because when you go to the next level, college or even to the pro, you're not going to be that scorer. You're not going to be an elite scorer. Those are far in between players. You got to find what is your role. Are you an elite defender? Are you the facilitator? Are you the rebounder on the team? Are you the guy who's going to set the picks and make sure make sure the shooter gets open? Find your role on the team because everybody's not going to be the elite scorer on the next level. So that's what you have to focus on when you're in this league, so you know where you're going to be in the next league.
And so I tell girls that during AU when we're on the road and they're trying to get college offers and they're trying to get recruiters' attention, you got to figure out what you do well. If you're not a 4 and 5 star recruit, they're probably not recruiting you for scoring. They're recruiting you for another reason. Um,
Right.
so figure out what you do well and what got their attention. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out, okay, if I want to go D1 D2 and I know I'm not a 4 or 5 star recruit, I have to bring something else to the table other than scoring. Am I an elite 45, 50% 3 point shooter? Cool, you go definitely go D1 D2 still because they're gonna always need a spot up shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Again, are you an elite defender? Am I a great PG to where I can read the floor well? I understand passing lanes. I understand how to control pace and play with pace and speed up defenders and do all these different things that schools are looking for with point guards. Cool. Am I an elite big man? Can I rebound well? Can I protect the paint? Can I block shots? Can I deflect shots? Because it ain't always about blocking shots, but can I do different things to help make the team better? And like you said, that's when you're trying to get recruited, that's what these schools are looking for. I talk to a few college coaches regularly now that I have built relationships with over the last couple of years, and that's what they tell me when they ask me about girls or saying, "Do I know such and such?" They're not asking me, "Can you score?" First, they're asking me about your grades. They're asking me what type of character you have, what type of character your parents got, and then they're asking me, "What do you think they can do to help my program be successful?"
And that's what it's all about. Is getting them ready, getting these girls ready, these student athletes ready for the next level, whether it be uh, uh, playing basketball at the next level or just going and focusing on a career in the next level, because you're going to take these fundamentals and these skills that you learn on the basketball court or from your basketball team, the camaraderie, or from your coach, learning discipline. And you're going to take that on to your next career, whether it's basketball or whether it's engineering or whether it's graphic design or whether it's a police officer or whatever it is. You're going to take what you learn as a student athlete on to the next level.
Absolutely, and I put up a post the other day. Tomorrow, no contact is over for me, so I can get back in the gym with my girls, and I'm excited to get in the gym. But my goal as a coach is to make sure that they are successful and prepared for life in general. Basketball is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I want you to succeed and be the best you can be in whatever it is. I don't care if I got girls that don't make it through the whole season and you decide basketball is not for you and you rather go focus on dance or theater. I'm gonna be there clapping in the front row just like I would if you was on my basketball team still. Because at the end of the day, my goal is to see you successful in life, not just on the basketball court. And I think
Right.
that's the disconnect with a lot of coaches now is they aren't building genuine relationships with their players to where your
Mm-hmm.
players identify that you care, period, not just about sports. Because it's a lot of coaches that are successful coaches and great coaches, but all they kids think is they only care about what I could do with them on the field, on the court, on the volleyball court, whatever it is. And they have to know that you care,
Right.
got their back no matter what, even if they don't play for you anymore. If they transfer, if they decide not to play no more, they got to know that you still got their back and their best interests at heart.
That's true. That's true. So this we kind of wrap this up, and I got three questions for you. And you're probably not gonna like the last two questions. But the first question is, what are your goals as a coach for this season? This is the first season as a head coach of the women's high school varsity at Clay. So, what are your goals for this season?
So the first goal is to change the culture. That's my biggest goal. I want to change the culture, get girls excited about basketball over at Clay, increase the numbers of participants. That's the first goal, is to change the culture and to make sure that people understand Clay basketball is no longer just a laughing joke, or we're not the bottom of the NOL, but we're building a culture to where things are changing and progressing. Second goal is I want to compete. At the end of the day, you know me, I'm a competitor, right? So I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if I finish 500, as long as I finish better than where we were last year as a program. So you know me, that's how I am as a competitor. I just want to compete. And
Yep.
so as long as we're competing on a nightly basis, I'm cool with it. As
Right.
long as we giving 150% as players and coaches, and every night we competing, and we can hang our hat knowing that we competed and gave all we had, even if we make minor mistakes, I'm good with it. Last goal, which is a big goal, tall goal, is I want to finish top 3 in the Cardinal division of the NOL. Everybody is pretty much rebuilding in the Cardinal division. Fremont Ross
Mm-hmm.
graduated a ton of talent. Finley graduated some girls, but they bringing a few girls back. Napoleon graduated a few girls, but bringing some returners back. So my goal is to be able to compete in the Cardinal division and finish at least top 3.
All right. Now, next question is, are your top five? Who are the top 5 best players in NBA history besides Kobe Bryant?
You're childish. All right, let's go here. LeBron James is 1.
Uh-huh.
Jordan is 2. I have to go Shaq in my top 5. Steph Curry in my top 5. So that's 4. And then KD.
Okay. All right.
Let me
Now,
use Kobe.
last question. Huh?
Since you wouldn't let me use Kobe.
Last question is, who are your top 5 favorite Celtics of all time?
All right, so we can go here. Definitely would be Ray Allen,
Mm-hmm.
KG, Rondo. Just because I feel like my game is similar to Rondo's, I'm kind of tough and
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown. I'm a huge fan of Jaylen Brown. I'm a huge fan of Pritchard too. He don't get a lot of playing time, but he tough and
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
he impact
Yeah.
the game immediately when he get a playing spot. So he don't get a lot of
Mm-hmm.
minutes, but he makes sure he make use of the minutes that he is given. So that I like.
Yep.
I'm not saying Jay.
So
So I
you're not saying Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum was a Kobe fan, so he kind of
yeah.
tried to pattern his game after Kobe,
So,
even though it's probably not working that way, but still.
but yeah, no.
No, but go ahead.
But yeah, so KG,
Uh-huh.
Rondo, Ray Allen, Peyton Pritchard, and then Larry Bird, of course.
Okay.
So
I appreciate the Larry
I
Bird.
gave you 5 Celtics.
You gave me 5 Celtics. Okay. I'm not gonna ask you about the Lakers because I already
You
know.
already know.
But but congratulations on the new coaching position. I know you're gonna do well, and I wish you all the blessings and that's coming with this position. And I'll hope to see you at some games this year. I'll work second shift, but hopefully I'll get some nights off to work. Come watch you
I
in the
got a couple.
games at
Make
Clay.
sure I get you tickets for some weekend stuff. So I got you, bro.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, for sure. Yeah, and appreciate your time. I know this is a busy time for everybody, especially with this Labor Day weekend. So, like I said, it's nice talking to you, nice seeing you as always,
Oh,
and hope to see you soon.
yes, sir, bro. Appreciate it again.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.